is no mystery why the South Korean non-English language film Parasite so resonated with American movie audiences in late 2019 and early 2020. Americans simply saw themselves. Bong Joon Ho's film is about economic inequality and a lack of social mobility, something with which Americans are all too familiar. There's nothing subtle about the title either, which is an explicit metaphor for Bong's message. The poor are reduced to parasites that attach themselves to a host organism, the rich, in order to survive. That works just fine on its own, but Bong takes it further, and it is this philosophical elevation that moves it from a potentially very good film into the realm of a masterpiece. Bong explores a special type of parasitic relationship called mutualism, in which both the parasite and the host organism become dependent on each other for survival. Parasites in nature go back at least 500 million years, and the ancient Greeks documented roundworms and tapeworms 5,000 years ago. A real scientific understanding emerged in the 19th century. Parasites are specialized in nature, live on or in their hosts, and they cause some harm to their hosts as they exploit them to gather necessary resources for their own fitness and survival. When a parasite and its host become codependent and rely upon the other for survival, this is termed obligate mutualism. Bong artistically explores the idea that in 21st century South Korea, and one can easily apply the idea to the United States as well, the rich and the poor have entered into a kind of obligate mutualism. It is the result of extreme wealth disparity. In South Korea, 38% of the population earns the annual equivalent of $8,700 or less, while only the top 1.4% earns the equivalent of $72,500 or more. Nearly half of the country's elderly live in poverty, while youth unemployment remains persistently high. It was more than 10% when Bong made his film. The lack of social mobility gave rise to the term dirt spoons for the country's young people, in contrast to the idea of the children of the wealthy being born with silver spoons. Bong asks us to view the characters and the events of the film as a microcosm of the problem. The families are symbolic. Bong gives the poor family the surname Kim, the most popular name in the country, analogous to Smith, while the rich family has the surname Park, the third most popular name, analogous to Williams. As the film opens, the Kims are so low socially that they live below street level, and they discover that their Wi-Fi is inaccessible because the woman upstairs has installed a password on her connection. Their status as parasites is established immediately. The son, later given the sobriquet Kevin, finds a weak signal in a bathroom unlike any other, in which the toilet is situated above them. They are lower than human waste. As they watch a YouTube video showing how to fold pizza boxes, which the family will do for a local business for a pittance, fumigation begins on the street. The father tells them not to close the window because it will kill the stink bugs infesting their small apartment. Their status could not be more clear. A visit from the son's friend comes with a gift, a lucky rock that is said to provide wealth to the family that possesses it. They also get an immediate opportunity. The friend must leave to study abroad, and he offers the son a chance to take over tutoring the high school daughter of the wealthy Park family. His sister, soon to be called Jessica, forges a college diploma should the Parks ask for his qualifications. As he makes his way to their opulent modern house, Bong very symbolically shows Kevin walking uphill and moving up levels the entire way. When he reaches the home, he is greeted by a housekeeper, not Mrs. Park. The family is so wealthy that things considered luxuries or opportunities beyond expectation are taken for granted, such as expensive tutors and a housekeeper to do the cleaning and cooking. Mrs. Park, in fact, is so bored that she spends her day shopping and sleeping. Kevin slowly brings in his sister and parents as workers for the Parks through lying and scheming. The daughter comes in as an art tutor for the Parks' young son. They set up the chauffeur and then the housekeeper to be fired so that the father and the mother can assume those roles respectively. The parasite multiplies, becomes specialized, and increases resources by exploiting its host. The host, however, is reliant upon and benefits from the parasite. Mr. Park probably never learned to drive and relies upon a chauffeur. Mrs. Park cannot cook, and cleaning a house is beneath her. They have neither the time nor ability to tutor their children, but they have more than enough money to pay others to perform the tasks. It is a symbiotic relationship built upon the extremes of poverty and a lack of opportunity, and wealth and an abundance of opportunity. Each needs the other to thrive. The word parasite itself comes from the ancient Greek, meaning to eat from another's table. Bong gives this to us in visual form when the Kims feast upon the park's expensive food and drink while the parks go on a camping trip. Bong also shows us this by weaving a double narrative built upon parasitism. It turns out that the husband of the original housekeeper has been secretly living in the bowels of the mansion, something alluded to earlier in the film when Mr. Park says that the housekeeper's only flaw is that she eats enough for two. The narratives merge through awful violence when the Parks return unexpectedly from their trip just after the fired housekeeper comes back to the house for her husband, who is living in a dark, hidden interior like an intestinal parasite. Bong uses stink and stinking throughout as a way of showing class divides, from stink bugs and the choking odor of insecticide to the stink of poverty that clings to the Kims no matter what they do to mask it, something that proves pivotal at the climax when Mr. Kim cannot abide stink defining him and his low station in life. The violence is apt. In the past, extreme societal gaps in wealth and opportunity led to violence and revolution. Bong's skill in creating a compelling narrative framework for his message led to universal praise for the film. It first won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, and then became the first non-English language film to win the Oscar for Best Picture. It was the first movie in 60 years to win both awards. In June of 2025, Parasite was voted the best film of the 21st century by the New York Times in a poll of 500 readers, actors, and directors. Great films not only tell a compelling story, they have something important to say. Parasite shines a light on the danger of extreme wealth disparity in the late-stage capitalism of our time.